perfect නේද?
Cool.
මිනලා.
Cool. As photo.
ඔයාලා තමයි as photo. මට නම් යා perfect.
නිකම් බොරුවට fan girl කෙනෙක් වෙන්න පස්සේ එයාගේ ඉතර perfect යන්නේ.
It is all about me, Mouse. මේක මගේ career එක, මේක මගේ dream එක.
Hi, I'm Dilshara Jaimana and you're watching Curtain Call on Hi TV.
මේක මගේ තැන. මගේ rules. Stephanie D'Silva. Colombo College of Art and Design එකේ. ඔයාම අස් කරනවා.
I am the writer and director of the movie Yaaluwoda Yaaluida. Now the funny thing is, though Yaaluwoda Yaaluida is a movie, in my mind it is and it has always been a lot more than that. I call it a pop culture renaissance cleverly disguised as a movie. I started this project together with my producer Rasida Jinasena and then another huge team that got added to that. The whole intention was to make more than just a movie, because we were looking around the film industry, the music industry, the fashion industry, and you know, different aspects of pop culture. We noticed a bit of a void in the youth spaces when it comes to connecting these different industries together with the movie industry. So we wanted to create a fun, exciting, sort of nouveau, in vogue piece of cinema that could bind all these different industries together and give the young Sinhala movie-going audience of Sri Lanka something to really feel part of, and something for them to own, and something for them to be excited about and then proud about. And you know, to create a little bit of a buzz that ties all of these things which maybe are quite prevalent in the higher end audiences in Colombo who watch this international content, but to bring it to the high streets, to bring it to the hearts and minds of the wider Sinhala audiences in the country.
අයියෝ ආගේ ඩ්‍රෙස් එක අරගෙන මිල්ල ගාවට යන්න.
Kai Mouse, ඔයා හරි sure. හැබැයි ටිකක් මෝඩයි. මම කොහොමද යා ළඟට යන්නේ?
So when casting for Yaaluwoda Yaaluida, we wanted to do some very specific things. Firstly, we wanted to create Sri Lanka's next sweethearts, Sri Lanka's new cinema sweethearts. Because we've had some amazing power couples in the past. We've had people like Vijay and Malini and Sanat and Sabita. Following that, we never really had a couple together on screen. We've had brilliant actresses and actors, but there hasn't been really an era where you had a power couple who you just want to go and watch their next movie, a sort of Tom Hanks, Meg Ryan kind of thing. So we wanted to do that, and we wanted to do that with two fresh faces. Power those fresh faces, to prop them up and give the movie the spine and the sinew and the muscle. We wanted to work with a set of well-established, wonderful actors, and then buttress that with interesting characters from other industries that I talked about, like the music industry and the fashion industry. So we started off with this young Eraj and Shireen, the young couple who play Mithun and Steffi, and then a wonderful set of professionals, Saranga Disasekara, Dinakshi Priyasad, Yureni Noshika, Danu Inasitambi, and then established actors like legendary actors like Kumara Tirimadura and Meena Kumari coming in to really give it that oomph. Then from outside the film industry, making their big screen debuts, music powerhouses DJ Mas, Romain Willis, who are riding the crest of a wave of Sinhala EDM in Sri Lanka. And then all the way from Malaysia, our own Sarah Ilyas, who's bringing a very keen sense of fashion influencing into the movie. So all of these people combined on screen to work with these two young actors to create our story. And it was just wonderful to work with all of them, because we've got the energy and the sort of raw talent of these young people doing it for the first time. And we had wonderful human beings and personalities in the senior actors who really helped these kids out, who helped me out, and who helped out the entire crew to really bring this thing together. Their entire approach to it was one of cooperation and being helpful, and it was just a fantastic experience.
Steffi, nice to meet you. Gin and tonic එකක් නැතුව දෙයට එනවා.
Behind the camera, of course, standing tall and stout, my partner in crime, Rasita Janasena, our producer, who is a veteran producer and who's made several feature films before, which have won many awards locally and internationally. So I had his strength and his guidance with me. And he only asked me one question, because when we were casting the young couple, Shireen, who plays Steffi, had never acted before. She hadn't acted even in school. And the incredible story that you may have heard by now is that she was found on TikTok by my wife Harshini, who's also our EP.
ඔය ෆ්‍රෙන්ඩ්ෂිප් එක බොයි ෆ්‍රෙන්ඩ්ෂිප් එකකට හරවන්න වෙලාව හරි.
Now, the only question that Rasita asked me as producer to director was, Machang, do you think she'll fill the screen? You know, it's a huge giant, you know, 40, 50, 60, 70 foot screens that you're going to see this in. You know, will she fill the frame? And I said, okay, let's check it out. And we had started out this casting process, rehearsal process online, because this was all during COVID. And then, you know, I was happy with what I saw. So I got her down to Colombo and we had a screen test with Eraj and Shireen. And I said, you know what, Rasita, you just can't take your eyes off this girl. And that's what we see, and that's what you'll see, and that's what people who've seen the movie up to now are saying. Incredible magnetic performance of this sort of shy and retiring girl that you'll see in life, but when she comes on screen, she transforms into something else.
Baby.
Ranga S. Bandara and Hasita Varnasurya are cinematographers, director of photography and associate director of photography, come with incredible wealth of knowledge and experience behind them, who work together on both cameras as you know, colleagues, and to deliver exceptional picture quality and exceptional lighting, which is something, and an exceptional color, which is something that I am intensely into as a director. So we've had a lot of technical discussions on how to deliver pristine image quality to the cinema goers of Sri Lanka. How do we light it? How do we texture it? How do we get the correct lensing to give a difference in look and also a quality and crispness in texture?
Baby.
Coming in on production design, Nuwan Sanuranka, with whom I've been working for the best part of 2 decades doing commercials, and he doesn't accept every script. So when he came on board and he saw the story, he got into it, and the first concept boards he presented for the sets, they just blew my mind. And that's what I love about working with Nuwan. He will take what I give and then he'll elevate it into another level. And I wanted to create this world of Mithun and Steffi and this world of Yaaluwoda Yaaluida as an absolute escape from what you normally see. And he just delivered on that. Every set that you see, every place that we go to in the movie was full of curated objects, was designed in such a way that you'll find detail in every little nook and corner.
මගේ regular podium dancer ස්වෙට්ලානට අසනීපයි. ඉතින් මැඩම් ඔයා තමයි result.
තෙසුදාට මට නම් බෑ ඇඳුම් ගලව ගලවන්න.
People are calling this Sri Lanka's first fashion movie, and our stylist Jude Gayantha Pereira was incredible in the lookbooks that he put together for all the characters. Steffi, the main character, is supposed to be a fashion student, and the kind of outfits he put together for her, sometimes impeccable and sometimes with intentional imperfections to drive a backstory. The outfits he put together for her and all the other characters, I mean, it's just taking my breath away every time I see it.
ඔයා තල්ලු කරයින් පස්සේ එයා මං ගාවට ආවා. එයා මුළු රෑම හිටියේ මාත් එක්ක.
Nishan Daniel has done the background score and the sound design for us, and also several songs in the movie. Nishan and I have worked together many years on commercials, and this was his first big movie. And I wanted to create a sound together with Nishan that was a little different for the Sri Lankan, Sinhala audience's ear. Something that perhaps they'd only heard before in foreign movies or English music, to again give them that feel and flavor of what am I watching? It feels different, it feels fresh, it feels new, and it feels a little special. Yaaluwoda Yaaluida, our end track, which he worked on with Dinesh Gamage and Romain Velez, as well as the interlude songs, those transition songs, which incidentally his wife Debbie Daniel who sings on them, which was brilliant.
I just kiss my best friend in
title song, or rather the song that's been going all around, produced by DJ Mas and Romain Velez performing, Tarunai, which features, the chorus features a bunch of lyrics which is really about the attitude of the movie, saying, Oya Vansha Kata Dem Paranai, Me Alut Ratavaka Arunai. And then a little disclaimer saying, Mama kiyane nang eka karunai mata banin epa mama tarunai. So it's a little bit about all of us, this entire team that's doing this movie, saying, hey, look, you know what, we're trying. Maybe you don't necessarily like what we're doing, but we're just trying, so give us a chance. So the movie's post-production team worked extra hard to make sure that every frame and every sound that you hear was as crisp and nice as possible, as aesthetic as possible. And on the side of video, my editor Kavinda Jude Mudalige did a wonderful job of putting this entire story together. And the post-production team, headed by Samadhi Veerakone and VFX supervisor Oshan Sandakalum, put together all this wonderful sequencing, retouching, opening intro sequences, then the keying out and putting in of different backgrounds and skies to make that entire escape an absolute reality. Did a wonderful job.
මට ආසයි හිතන ඔයාට වඩා රහ දෙයක් මෙතන තියෙනවද?
You okay?
Not really.
I must mention my colorist of so many years now, Ananda Bandara, who conspired with me to create the wonderful color palette that we see in post-production of this movie. You'll see the way we've lit it. It's a story of a boy and a girl, and the way the story is written is to get Sri Lankan skins looking very, very interesting. All of this is set indoors or outdoors in the night. There's only one scene which is set in the exterior during the daytime. Our equatorial sun works in a different way with less diffusion. So Anand has created these beautiful color palettes of the wonderful bisexual lighting spills that Ranga, Hasita and I have created for him to work with, and the wonderful costumes that Jude has done and Nuan has done with the production design to end up creating a kind of colorist's dream, which everybody is noticing when they see the trailer, and they're like, oh my God, it's so colorful, it's so colorful. And that's something that we've done with great intent and great dedication.
Hi, my name is Rasita. I'm the producer, movie Yaaluwoda Yaaluida. Yaaluwoda Yaaluida is not my first film. I have produced, it's around 10 movies up to now. And this is my first film with Dilshara. Even though this is my first film with Dilshara, this didn't happen overnight. At the first stage of Corona, Dilshara and we both decided, hey, look here, let's make something. Let's make this time useful. Let's make a digital video, or let's do something with this time where we are at home. So we both get together and we made a very special, experimental, viral video which came out really nice. So I can say that's the beginning of this movie, where I got the confidence as a producer to stand behind or stand with Dilshara to make this movie. Dilshara's movie can maybe my first movie when it comes to the commercial movie. So why I'm saying that, this movie has a bigger audience when you compare the audiences. All the other movies has a niche market, niche audience. It's more like experimental drama, slow, but beautiful poetries. That's a different story. Dilly always wanted to make something happening, which is great, which is new to me. First, I had to believe the director, which I did. To do that, it doesn't happen like that, but yes, I know him for the last so many years. I have experienced so many things, and I know that he can do it. Also, when it comes to a project like a movie, which is a bigger challenge, so I had few things which I had to ask him, which I had to question him, which I monitored or slowly inspect those, and I felt yes, he's going in the right direction. He has everything that director has. And the second thing, as a producer and a director, we both got together and get the right people in, which is the biggest and the first big step. The actors and the actresses and the professionals. We used 2 cameras with 2 great cameramen, Ranga and Hasita, and we reduced number of days. To do that, we did lots of rehearsals continuously for about 6 months. We got our main actress, she's her first movie, but we got her to go for acting classes. We got her down year before. So when pre-production is a must for a successful movie. I'm proud to say 100% all our Sri Lankans, all Sri Lankan talents are used in this, which made an international class production. And probably for a producer, that's the most happiest thing and proudest thing I can say as a producer.
Loves me not kia then Ivaraya
Hi, my name is Jude Gayantha Pereira. I am a stylist, and that's exactly how I met Dilly for the first time. Dershara or Dilly. Honestly, I've had the pleasure of knowing him for quite some time, and I met him working on a commercial that he had scripted, and honestly, it was such a breeze to sit with someone who I didn't have to explain what a bomber jacket was. And that's how our working relationship really started. And coincidentally, it was a commercial that was being produced by Rasida at the same time. And so we all met each other at the same time. I knew this was going to be a very different project because, I mean, for a living, I do costumes for commercials and films. This is my first feature film, to be quite honest. I expected to have a brief with the director or the producer. They would tell me what they would expect from costumes and whatnot. But from the first meeting I had about this project, Dilly was like, hey, what do you want to do? Which completely threw me off guard. He was like, what would you do if there was no limitation? How would you picture Steffi? How would you picture Mithun? How would you dress someone like Ramani? And it was such an amazing collaborative process. I got to draw a lot from the overall fashion industry in the world, as well as draw inspiration locally. We had a lot of contextual referencing that we did even before we got to a certain point of, are we making these clothes? Are we buying these clothes? One of my favorite costumes is actually the pink outfit that we see Steffi in. I don't know whether we should be giving away all of this information. You should definitely check out this movie first. But let me just say it's the pink outfit, and there was a lot of work that went into it. The final version that ended up in the movie is actually, I would say, version 3 or 4. Because we were looking to capture her emotions really well. We were looking for what would be the objective here. What is she trying to communicate?
Baby.
Mithun, I think one of my favorite costumes has to be his white t-shirt and denim look when he meets Steffi, right? It's one of the final scenes. I don't want to give everything away. I think there is a quintessential part of every Sri Lankan girl that imagines their significant other or their partner in this kind of like outfit. And we got the opportunity to really cater to that. When we were discussing this kind of experience of Steffi meeting Mithun there, we were thinking, what would be the best way we can communicate this scene? We didn't want something loud. I mean, he's somewhere else and he's coming to meet her, so we just wanted to communicate, like, for nothing to get in the way of that scene.
Cool.
Minala.
Cool. That's hotel.
Hi, my name is Nishan Daniel and I'm music producer and sound designer for the movie Yaaluwoda Yaaluida. My background is mainly from TV commercials. I've been a recording engineer and a music producer for almost 18 years. And I've been doing mostly commercial work for TV and radio. And I've got into the music making process for songs and things like that in the last 7 or 8 years. So this is my first full-length feature film, and it was an amazing experience doing it. And I remember when Dilly called me in September, late September last year. He said, I have this film and I want you to score the background music and do the sound design. You never know how big a project is until you really get into it. And for someone who's used to doing TV commercials most of their lives, you think, okay, you just need to go scene by scene and you're okay, but it was a huge daunting task, and it really pushed me to the limits because when Dilly gave me the brief, he said, I want you to approach this from a rom-com, chick flick sort of vibe, genre. So I had to go back and watch a lot of chick flicks, and I think I watched more chick flicks and more rom-coms in the last year as opposed to my entire life. The music in this film is very, I would say, it's going to stand out because you wouldn't hear this kind of music, this kind of genre of music in Sri Lankan cinema. The spectrum of moods that is covered in a movie is vast. You can go from happy to sad in a matter of minutes. So the challenge was to capture each emotion. The challenge was to capture also each character's emotion, what each character brought to the scene. I also did the end credits song, which is basically the theme track for the movie, which features Dinesh Kamage and Romain Willis. Again, two huge powerhouses in the music industry in this country. The teamwork is something that I think that stood out for me. That it was so easy to communicate with Dilly, with Rasitaya and all those involved in the movie, and to get exactly what they want was a great experience for me.
I feel like we've really captured the life of Colombo that no one really wants to put on film, and we've had the privilege to present for the first time. We also wanted to capture and be authentic. There are loads of local designers we have featured in this movie that are the current go-tos. We had the brilliant opportunity to collaborate with some amazing new designers, including Akash Pranavithana, Nipunika Fernando, who is also very much focused on the film and theatre industry. And we also have established amazing designers like Himashi Vijayveera, who have a very strong Sri Lankan identity, and her designs were featured in this movie. And last but not least, we have also been supported by amazing designers and design houses like Warehouse, Karma Collection, Tivon. My special thanks to Tivon, who came in at the last moment to help us with some amazing clothes. And last but not least, a big thank you to Charini Suryage, who helped and influenced some of my greatest work in this movie. And last but not least, where all my inspiration lies, deep within me. I couldn't have done this without the support and the family that I have in the creative industry, as well as a whole. Sri Lanka is a place where you need to know people, and thankfully people know you before you can even make an attempt And this is to all the retailers and dressmakers who handled all my last moment work, which is usually how things go.